Picture a quiet Sunday afternoon. The light is soft, slanting across the floor in that specific golden way that suggests the day is winding down. You have nowhere to be. The emails have stopped coming in. The chores, for the most part, are done. You have physically lowered your body onto the couch with the intention of relaxing. You have a book, or a cup of tea, or perhaps just the blank screen of a television. The conditions for peace are perfect. Yet inside your chest, there is a hum. It is a low-grade vibration, a tightness that sits just behind your ribs. Instead of sinking into the cushions, your mind begins to scroll through a list of things you have not done. You remember a message you forgot to reply to. You notice dust on the baseboards that you should probably wipe up. You think about the week ahead and how much better it would go if you just got a head start right now. You are physically still, but internally, you are sprinting. You feel a strange, creeping sense of guilt, as if by sitting here doing nothing, you are committing a small crime. You are wasting time, and time feels like a currency you cannot afford to lose. If this sensation is familiar to you, if the act of stopping feels more stressful than the act of working, please know that you are not broken. You are simply navigating a world that has taught you a very specific, very heavy lesson about your own worth. Let us explore the architecture of this anxiety. We often call this the trap of worthiness. It is a deep-seated belief system that equates your value as a human being with your output. We have internalized a kind of economic equation where doing equals being. If you are producing, if you are solving, if you are moving, then you are good. You are safe. You are justifying your existence on this planet. But the moment you stop, the equation breaks. If you are doing nothing, the fear whispers that you are becoming nothing. This is not just a habit. It is a form of internalized capitalism. We have adopted the logic of the factory floor and applied it to our own souls. In a factory, a machine that is turned off is a machine that is losing money. It is a machine that is failing its purpose. But you are not a machine. You are a biological organism. You are an animal. You are a consciousness. Yet, we treat our need for rest as a design flaw. We treat our fatigue as an inconvenience to be overcome with caffeine or sheer willpower, rather than a signal to be honored. When you try to rest and feel anxious, what you are feeling is the withdrawal symptoms of validation. When you are busy, you get a constant drip of dopamine. You check a box, you get a hit. You send an email, you get a hit. You are proving to yourself over and over again that you are capable and necessary. When you stop, that stream of validation dries up. You are left with silence. And in that silence, you are forced to confront a terrifying question. Who am I when I am not useful? Who am I when I am not solving a problem for someone else? This anxiety also has a biological root. For many of us, our nervous systems have been stuck in a state of high alert for years, perhaps decades. We have trained our bodies to be ready for a threat, ready for a deadline, ready for a crisis. To a nervous system that is wired for survival, stillness can feel dangerous. In the wild, if an animal freezes but remains tense, it is usually because a predator is nearby. So when you sit on your couch and try to freeze your body without calming your mind, your brain interprets this as a threat response. You are waiting for the other shoe to drop. You are waiting for the crisis that requires your intervention. We also play a game with ourselves called the earned rest. We tell ourselves that we are allowed to rest, but only after we have finished everything. The problem, of course, is that we never finish everything. The list of tasks is infinite. Modern life is designed to be unfinished. There will always be another message, another dish to wash, another article to read. By making rest a reward that must be earned, we place it continuously out of reach. We chase the horizon, running faster and faster, hoping that if we just work hard enough, we will finally arrive at the place where we are allowed to exhale. It is time to look at the stories we tell ourselves about laziness. We often use the word lazy as a weapon against ourselves. We see it as a moral failing. But let us reframe this. What you call laziness is often just your body's desperate attempt to enforce a boundary that you have refused to set. When you find yourself procrastinating, or staring at a wall, or unable to get off the couch, that is not a defect of character. That is your battery forcing a shutdown because you refuse to plug it in. True rest is not a reward for productivity. It is the baseline requirement for life. Think about your breath. You do not hold your breath and tell yourself you can only exhale once you have done enough work. You inhale and you exhale. It is a rhythm. It is a cycle. You do not earn your exhale. You do not apologize for your exhale. Rest is the exhale of your life. It is the necessary counterpart to action. Without it, the system collapses. There is also a profound productivity in stillness that we often overlook because it cannot be measured on a spreadsheet. When you are constantly taking in information, constantly reacting, you have no space to synthesize. You have no space to feel. Rest is where the processing happens. It is where the fragmented parts of your day are woven into a coherent story. It is where your emotions are digested. When you deny yourself rest, you are not just making yourself tired. You are making yourself shallow. You are skimming the surface of your own life because you never stop long enough to sink down to the depths. We must begin to practice a new kind of defiance. In a world that demands your constant attention, doing nothing is a radical act. It is a declaration that you belong to yourself. It is a way of saying that your time is not just a resource to be mined, but an experience to be lived. This is difficult work. It requires you to sit with the discomfort of the anxiety. When you first stop, the guilt will flare up. It will be loud. It will tell you that you are falling behind. It will tell you that everyone else is working harder than you. Instead of fighting that voice or getting up to do a chore to make it stop, try to just observe it. Treat the guilt like a passing weather system. It is a cloud moving across the sky of your mind. It is dark, it is heavy, but it is not you. You can sit on the couch, feel the wave of anxiety, and choose to remain seated. You can say to yourself, I hear the fear, but I am choosing to rest anyway. I am choosing to be useless for this hour because my value does not come from my use. You might try a very small, safe practice to begin this shift. Try to carve out a small window of time, perhaps just 10 or 15 minutes, that is intentionally unproductive. This is not time for meditation, which can feel like another form of work. This is not time for reading a book to learn something. This is time for wasting time. Stare out the window. Watch the leaves move in the wind. Watch the dust motes float in the sunlight. If your hand reaches for your phone, gently put it back down. If your mind reaches for a problem, gently let it go. During this time, remind yourself that you are not a human doing. You are a human being. The emphasis is on the being. You are allowed to simply exist. You are allowed to take up space and consume air and sunlight without paying for it with your labor. The trees do not apologize for standing still. The cat does not apologize for sleeping in the sun. They know something that we have forgotten. They know that life is not a transaction. As you practice this, you may find that the quality of your work actually improves. When you work from a place of fullness rather than a place of depletion, you bring more of yourself to the task. But that is a secondary benefit. The primary benefit is that you reclaim your humanity. You remember that you are the protagonist of your life, not just the employee of it. So the next time that Sunday afternoon heaviness settles in and the urge to rush begins to pull at your limbs, try to stay. Try to sink a little deeper into the cushion. Let the world spin on without your help for a moment. It will be fine. The emails will wait. The dust will wait. But your life, your actual experience of being alive in a body that breathes and feels, is happening right now. What would it feel like to trust that you are enough even when your hands are empty? What if the peace you are looking for is not waiting at the finish line, but right here, in the quiet moment you are afraid to take?